Okay, so my name is Chris Booker. I'm the Senior Virtual Reality Teaching Technician at the University of Nottingham. My job is to basically help students with VR in their education journey and assist teaching staff that are teaching in VR that aren't necessarily VR experts and being there to offer on-site live technical support during teaching. Yes, it's being implemented more and more as the time it goes on, as the years go on now. VR in engineering specifically, which is where I'm based, was adopted around 2020, 2021, when a small VR lab was set up for product design students designing using mostly Gravity Sketch, but other applications as well, and doing sketch and concept work in VR. And it was a successful program. The students were reacted to it very, very well. And then the teaching academics decided this needed scaling up. So we put a lot of investment into a large teaching facility, which teaches 40 students. It's PC-based VR setup. So now we can teach full classes of up to 40 students in virtual reality. Well, speaking from limited experience, the building in-house is you've got the best chance of getting what you want, exactly how you want it. The way teaching works is, in my experience, is people have got a certain thing they want to teach and they want to teach in a very specific way. So if you've got somebody on hand to, with every step of the way, it's going to create that virtual experience of how, not only how you want it to, how it must work correctly, but how you want to teach it. That's paramount, because if the teaching staff haven't got to grips with how it's being taught, the buy-in's just not going to be there. Whereas subcontracting it out to outsourcing it, whereas I mean, there's advantages, and you just take a lot of the time burden away from you, like having to do it in house. But it's almost like because the specifics of what we teach is so detailed and nuanced, it's almost like someone would have to be stood over their shoulder and tell them exactly what, as they're doing it, how it needs to be. My Unity experience is quite limited, and it's a fairly steep learning curve from the beginning. It's way more forgiving than other engines that I've tried, which shall remain nameless. But the great thing as well, Unity does have some really good like start templates for VR and XR as well. Whereas others just give you completely on your own. Everything has to be done by yourself. You get a complete blank slate. Code and interaction is one of those things that again, steep learning curve, and if you're having to build that bespoke yourself, whereas the Zoho for Unity plugin just makes sense. You want to be able to touch that button, you want to be able to pick that up, put it down. Why is this not a standardized thing? Which, in my again, using the Zoho plugin just makes things so much easier. All of a sudden, you go through the tutorials of Mark Suter, and you just watching the video, like it's just so easy. But once you watch the video, you practiced it a couple of times. That's the interaction. It's done. It's there, and you just know that you can put whatever you want to be in the experience where it needs to be. Okay, so I was helping some colleagues in chemistry with it. So I wasn't building it directly myself. I was involved in the process of the feedback and advice process. So I was quite fairly heavily involved in it, and especially the testing phase as well. So what you expect is what they've done is they've virtualized it. They've done exactly what we wanted to do when we built the VR facility. They've virtualized an undergraduate chemistry lab. So a practical laboratory experiment that the students will do in the laboratory physically. So you start off in the laboratory, you've got some instructions of what you need to do. The equipment's on the desks and the shelves you need to get, and you have to build the test rig and then literally perform the experiment as you would do in the real world, but in VR. Again, an experiment that requires a fair amount of consumables. All of a sudden, those costs have gone away because you can just switch it off and back on again, go out of it, back into it again. You have to worry about spilling things like that, because if you turn it over, you'll just just go and get another one off the shelf. It'll regenerate and you it's the start. Two students built it in 6 weeks, so they did an amazing job. So I mean, the level they got it to at the moment is, it can't be understated how much work they've put into this. The first year, it's designed for first year undergraduate mechanical engineering students. It's a mechanical engineering museum, and it's taking you through different mechanical mechanisms and how they work, and what their application is in the real world as well. It starts off as like a well, it's a mechanical engineering museum, and it makes people aware straight away that mechanical engineering is all around us. There's so much we wouldn't be able to do in the modern world without it. It takes you on a journey from the most simplest things like nuts and bolts, fasteners, up to like more complex um, mechanisms such as Scotch yokes, 4-bar linkages, etc., and so on and so forth. So, and there's also some interactivity there where the student will be taken on a journey, and then they'll see the mechanism, have the mechanism moving, and then they'll go to there's 3 boxes which asks you the question, asks 3 questions. What is it? What does it do? Where can I find it? When they touch that, they'll get an explanation of what it does, and there are like model examples of what they're used in as well. The key thing for me is to scale it. Start off small and then build it up. And I think the teaching staff that originally started the VR and engineering had the exact right approach. Start off small teaching groups. Then you'll you'll take the baby steps and you'll see the pitfalls along the way because it was a big trial and error trial and error process. But start off small and then learn from the mistakes, because everyone will make them. Make as many friends in the VR space as you can, so you can get bounce ideas off them, and just grow it from there.